Hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I am going to turn the music off so I can't hear it. That's frustrating. Hi, welcome, and I'm Brian Welcher Codes, and we're gonna do some Gutenberg WordPress stuff. So last stream we were working on a poll block. The idea being you could put a custom block in your WordPress site, and it would allow users to take a poll and display it. So ran into some stuff last time that was a little odd. And let's just take a look. So if I activate that block, I think if I go back here, this is where we were doing this poll block thing. So this was using Google Charts. It seemed to work okay. We got into some weird stuff here where we were losing focus. Now somebody on my YouTube channel commented and made a really great comment on this, being that this is most likely due to something to do with the keys of these particular items. So in React, you need to have each looped item. So maybe I should show what we're actually doing here. So if we look in the code, no, not that one. We look in the code in our this one. We're looking in the edit state. We can look in the inspector controls. You can see we're actually mapping this. So it doesn't look like I actually have a key. Oh no, I do have a key. So I think the key is the problem, because I think the way we're doing this is the name changes, which changes the key, which is not what we want. So I mean, you could technically do it this way, but I think that this is also not a good idea, because there's no guarantees that that the order of the array will always be the same. But let's take a look. Let's see if that fixed it. I don't know if it will or not. Let's see. So, yeah. So that certainly fixed our problem. So huge kudos and props to who was it? Let me just show the person, give them their dues here. I'm just going to jump over to my YouTube channel, and it was on this block. I'm going to say this person's name. Don't want to hear myself talk, but this person here. Fortunately, my friend, I'm not going to pronounce your name properly, and I apologize. Prezemek, but I'm not saying that right. But this is the person here who did it, who gave me the answer, and that's awesome. So thank you so much for your help. I have nothing to offer you other than my heartfelt thanks. But that being said, I am going to refactor this block, because I don't like this. So I've written a bunch of blocks in my career, blah, blah, blah. And I always kind of if you get to the point where you're fighting with like React, and you're fighting with like the framework, and like there's a lot wrong in my opinion with this. Like if you remember last time, so we can add a new option here by giving it a custom name, right? And this is clearly all wrong, because this is just horrible. Long story short, this is just horrible, because the UX here is really bad. Like, you know, if you had a bunch of items, you would just keep pushing this down. Then we have to come up with some way of reordering all of this manually, removing things. What if I don't want this one to be here? I want it to be up here. So we need to kind of roll our own solution for that. So I don't think that's the best way of doing this. I've been doing a lot of thinking about it. And I think the best solution is for us to walk away from this approach and use an inner blocks approach, because inner blocks gives us the tools to insert, do all the CRUD stuff, right? To create it, remove, update, and delete, right? So if we want to put an item in, and then delete it, we can. If we want to add an item, you can do it easily. If you want to rename an item or reorder it, well, I guess renaming will be on a per block basis. But if you want to reorder, that's handled for you. I'm not real happy with this green screening thing going on right now, but whatever. Yeah, I'm trying a new thing for my face here. But anyhow, if you just joined the stream, drop a little comment, say hi, so I can say hi back. I'm always happy to have people join. I know it's holidays in the US of A today, so so might be not many people here today, but that's cool. So we're gonna get this figured out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to walk away from this particular block. I'm going to do a new one, and I'm going to try to use some CSS. Full disclosure, I'm horrible at CSS, so we'll see what happens there. But we're gonna kind of do something like this. This is a code pen that I found online by a person named Krista, which is pretty cool. I'll drop it in the chat here, so I can give credit where credit is due. Go out and check this out. I'm gonna try to do something like this, where each one of these items is basically the polls. The poll items that we're talking about. So that's my plan. We'll see. Cool. So now let's. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go into my VS Code. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close this all down. I'm gonna create a new plugin. All the code from my streams goes into a repo. It's this repo here. I didn't put last week's up because I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet, but I think I just pushed it up this morning, so it's there. It's not finished. You're welcome to grab it and play around with it and break it or fix it, I guess actually is the more appropriate way of putting it. So in the meantime, I'm going to create a new one. So I want to do, I'm going to use this really awesome package that comes with WordPress, called WordPress. What is it called? Create Block. So there's a package here called Create Block, and what this allows us to do is use a template. And one of my past streams, we kind of dove into this a bit, so you can take a look and that stuff. But this is going to allow us to quickly scaffold out a block, and I actually have a custom one that I built that I just updated this morning. One of the folks that usually pops in did a pull request against something to fix it, so we're going to use this. So I am going to just take this command. It's an npx command. So if you're not familiar with npx and npm, the differences specifically. What do I have different in here? What is all this? Oh, this is the build stuff. Interesting. Yeah, so that is building. I'm just gonna get rid of all that because do I have like a build command running? I do. That's why. Okay, I'm gonna just revert all this stuff. Yeah. That's fine. Okay, so I've cut a new branch. Each stream has its own branch. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run this template. So this is gonna run the create block package as npx. npx just basically downloads it. Instead of installing it to the project, it just downloads it and then runs it, and then it doesn't actually get added to your project. And we're gonna call this today's date, which is November 24th, 2021, and I'm gonna say poll part 2. So this is gonna be the name of the plugin. And I'm using a custom one that I've set up that allows us to kind of scaffold out for, and I'm gonna zoom in a bit so we can see that. It allows us to scaffold out for multiple blocks. Most of the templates don't do that right now, so that's something that the core team is working on, that I'm trying to help with, get some pull requests in, so we can actually build, have a template that allows you to support multiple blocks inside of this, which is always something that's been a bit frustrating for some users. So what this is doing, it's downloading the stuff, it's creating our blocks files, is installing the scripts package, and kind of getting you all set up. I'm going to just jump back over here so you can see is, oh, I do this every time. I put it in the wrong place. Wherever you call it is where it will scaffold it. So I should have been, I'm just in the WP content folder. I should have gone in one level deeper into the plugins directory. So I will just move that after it's finished here. And then that is a thing. So just gonna refill on coffee. Okay, so there we go. So we got this all done. So what I'm gonna do is switch back over to here. I'm just gonna move this into the plugins directory. Yes, I'm gonna move it all. So now it's in here. And then in here, I can just CD into that CD plugins. And then we got November 24th, that should autocomplete. We're in there. I'm gonna zoom this in a bit more. Make that nice and easy to read. There we go. Okay, so I can clear this now. So scripts package is baked in to the template. So the scripts package is what gives us all of our build tools. So we can just say, if we run start is like a watch command. So we'll just run that. So we'll go npm run start, and now that's doing stuff. Go back over to our WordPress. I'm just gonna close this down and this down, and go to, oh wait, no. I'm gonna go to plugins. Yes, I want to leave this. So if we go to plugins, we now should see I've got a block in here somewhere. Don't have a block in there somewhere. Weird. Oh wait, hold on. Let's look and see what's going on here. Create block. Yeah, okay. So it didn't give me the proper name. So I'm gonna say poll block part 2, and this is today's date. And this is all these autocompletes are coming from a GitHub Copilot. It's pretty fantastic. So if I come back over here, I should see that one of these things is updated. There we go. Poll block part 2, and then that's today's date. And yeah, so we'll activate that. Now this, and I'll just create a new post. Poll part 2, the poll-ening. I don't know, whatever. Save. All right, so I don't think we have anything in here now. So now let's start building some blocks. Okay. So we want to have, what we need to have is, there's a couple things that I want to accomplish. One, I want to have a block that's called poll that then allows you to insert poll items or poll options, I guess, into that block. And so that's what we're gonna do. Oh, hey, hello, if you just joined the stream, say hey in the chat so I can say hey back. Otherwise, I won't. Cool, so, okay, so let's look at some things that we've set up. So what we have going on here, so my template has a, hey, I'm in Vicious, I'm not saying that right, but welcome. I appreciate you dropping by. So the scripts package, the WordPress scripts package, has a built-in Webpack config, and by default it's looking for your JavaScript files to live inside of a source directory, which would be the root of your plugin. That's great, except it expects a single root, a single entry point, and that's not what we want. What we want is multiple entry points. We want to have an entry point for each block, which will generate files for each block, which we get that. Then we can load those blocks independently. So what I've done in my template is I've got sort of like a block editor. You know, I've got sort of the path here. So this is going to be, this is poorly named. I'm going to change this, but so yeah. So what I want to have is put as many blocks in here as possible, and then my Webpack config sort of reflects that. So what I'm doing here is I'm importing the default Webpack config that comes with scripts, because I don't want to mess with all the other stuff. I just want to change how many entry points I have. Then I'm going to just use the object spread here and then override entry and then give it its own entry. So this completely overrides the entry. I mean, what I could do is also, you know what, I won't get into that, but you could do something like this. You can spread, sorry, and then I think it'd be entry, And what that'll do is that'll spread all the existing entry points, and then you can add your own. So if you did have a source directory, it would still work, like an src in here. We don't necessarily need that for this, so I'm not going to add that, but that's the thing. So okay, so in our includes, we've got block editor blocks. The first block is going to be called poll. All right, so we want that. So I'm all. So we want to also update this entry block. Now the reason that this is named like this is because of the way the template create block thing works. There's a certain amount of placeholders that you can use, and they don't always reflect what we're trying to do in this particular case. So I've just kind of used what I had available, and so we're just going to do it this way. So we have a poll block, which probably is fine like that now, right? And then block.json, I'm going to update all the things here. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to replace that with poll and replace them all, and there we go. So we've got API version 2, widgets, a support description, a block to display a poll. There we go. So right, okay, so that's that. So we can look at our index. So okay, so we were block.json. So actually, there's a couple of cleanup things that we have to do. This block.json down here, we don't need that. That gets added by the template automatically, which we don't need because I'm accounting for my block.json inside of this. I'm using some placeholders to allow us to dynamically build out these things. Go back. There's a stream that I have. It's on my YouTube channel now that kind of explains this in detail. So this is really powerful. You can do some really cool things with this, but I'm not going to get into all the details of that now. Cool. So let's look at the files that are generated. We have our index file. Our index file is pretty straightforward. This is where our block is registered using register block type. We have name. Name is getting pulled from our JSON here. So our block.json defines name and then all these other settings. Now this, I need to update my template because actually doing this is not a great idea. The reason being anything that is in set. So when you register a block, you register the block using a PHP function called register block type. And it takes a path to the block that you're going to register. So in this case, the path, it will end up being, I'll update this too. So it'll end up being here, and it looks for this block.json, and it takes the values inside of this block.json. And that's how it registers them. So if there are any items that need to be translated to another language, that gets handled automatically. If you override the settings, which is basically everything other than name in here, and they need to be translated, you need to manage the translation on the JavaScript side. So instead of doing that, we're going to just do this because this is a better way of doing that. This is a safer way of doing that, I should say. And yeah, and so the other thing that I want to do is this edit is gonna, oh no, that's updated. Okay, we're good. So we're gonna pull in our edit component, and then we're gonna pull in our save component, and then that's pretty much it. So we have styles that'll appear in the front end. We have some styles that'll appear inside the editor, and then I'm gonna just refresh my build because I changed my webpack, so this should all work. Now the part in every stream where I try to insert a block and it doesn't work, and I try to figure out why. So we'll see what happens there. Awesome. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Do I have that other plugin enabled? Let's see. Yes, leave. Okay, so I'm gonna leave. I think I have the old plugin enabled too. I do. We're gonna get rid of that one. Okay, so now this is here. Let's go back. We're gonna go in here, and I'm gonna try to do poll. There we go. So that's the name of the poll. There we go. So that's working. So clearly, update this. We'll take a look at the front end, see that we've got this thing happening. So this is all just boilerplate, none of which we're going to actually use. So the title is poll block. I'm going to give it, let's call it poll block. God, 2. There we go. Okay, so that explains why that title was all weird. So there's no icon in there, so we can add an icon later. Great. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is I'm going to make this dynamic because we want the block to be a dynamic block. Difference being static blocks save their HTML to the content, the post content in the database. And dynamic blocks don't. They save a reference to the block and then they save the attributes associated with that block. So to do that, we're going to need to jump into here and register this block in a slightly different way. So what I'm doing here is for all the blocks that I want to register, I'm going to call register block type. I'm going to give it this name. Okay. And then this actually needs to take another parameter, an array, and then we want this thing called render callback. Render callback, and that's going to be a function. I'm going to break this into 2 lines because it's easier to read. And then I don't think I'm using a namespace here, so I'm going to call this poll block 2 render callback, and this is going to be a function. No, we're going to do it like this. I'm going to make some dynamic function calls here. All right, so in PHP you can use this. So I'm going to put the block name in. Render callback. So this is going to expect anything, whatever the name of this block is. I'm going to get rid of that because that's going to break stuff. I'm going to put this in here. So we're going to look for includes block editor blocks, then the name of the block, which in this case is poll, and then we're going to do that. And then, you know what? There's actually a helper function in WordPress that we can use to do this. I think it's called trailing slash it. What this will do is it'll add a trailing slash if it's there, otherwise it will not. So that's a little bit cleaner way of doing that. And then it's when the block gets rendered we need to call the render callback function. So this is going to expect a function that is called, in this case, oh my god, we're going to call poll render callback. Right, like that. There's definitely some other ways that we can do this, but this is how I'm going to do it right now. So then when I start adding more blocks, we'll just have to add a render function for that particular block. Yeah, so that's a simple way of doing that. So this function will take 3 parameters. It takes attributes. These are the attributes of the block, the content, which will become important here in a moment, and then the block itself, the block reference, right? So, and it wants to return content, right? So we'll get into that in a second. But basically, that's part 1 of doing a dynamic block. Part 2 is in your actual block. We have the save function. So for a dynamic block, we don't want that to be anything more than a function that returns null for now, right? So we can just do that, right? And then we can actually get rid of our save instance, our save function, because we're not using it. So we're not saving the content there anymore. I'm gonna delete that. Just jump over to my build. Good. So if I go back to here, now this is gonna be, I'm gonna delete this one because it was static and now it's not. And so it'll break. So I'm just going to, yeah, see, it broke. So what I need to do is cancel, need to update that. I'm gonna just put in the poll block. Again, poll block 2, there we go. So now if we update this And if we look at the front end, you can see I've got content here. It's doing that. It's weird that it does that, actually. Let me get back here. I'm going to go back to my here. I'm just going to wrap it in a div for now. And that should make it display properly. So there we go. So there's our content. So the difference there is we are not saving anything. Well, actually, we are saving something to the database. Maybe I'll just show you what that looks like. So I'm using local here for my local development environment. You can use whatever you'd like. I kind of like this one, but so we look at the data. Where's the one I just created? Let's switch there. There we go. So we look at there we go. So create poll block. So that's what's actually being saved right there. That's weird. I need to update that. So the difference. So this is a static block. So we're delineating by, I'm going to zoom that in. We're delineating here by some HTML comments, and the actual markup goes inside of this. So let's see if I have another one in here that's a better example. Yes, something like that. So this will be the markup for that particular paragraph. So that gets saved and that gets rendered. Matty Two Shoes, welcome aboard. Thanks for coming. Yeah, so that's what that is. So with a dynamic block, the only thing that we really care about is like this one. We only care about the attributes, because the attributes are what we're then going to use to build the block out using PHP. So I can, yeah. And so anyway, so back into our PHP. So if we start changing this, content is rendered on the fly. Like, I haven't changed my block at all. I'm very selective in video and audio. Video is lagging, but it's something you can fix post-stream. Video's lagging, eh? Like my camera's lagging? I'm trying a new thing with my camera, so that could be it. But yeah, audio is slightly ahead. Oh, okay. All right. Well, thanks. That's good to know. I'm trying to. I'm using the XCam B split or whatever it's called. XSplit B cam. That's it. And it's doing some stuff there. So maybe that's part of it. Anyhow, thank you for the heads up. I'll tweak that later. Anyway, so we can then, hey, thanks for the follow. We can render our content outside of what is actually in the database. So now we can render this. So what's really awesome about this is that if you've been building blocks, you've probably run into the block error that says, hey, I don't know how to handle this. It's like a broken block, and you can like delete the block, you can try to convert it, try to fix it, and it's a real pain in the butt. And the reason it does that is when the content from the save function changes and it doesn't match what's in the database, it'll Gutenberg goes, I don't know what to do with this, and so you have to address that. So dynamic blocks take that completely out of the equation. Cool. Anyhow, so that's that. Okay, so we have this block rendering, so we're going to manage this, right? So as it stands now, so now let's work on this specific block. So the block's registered. Okay, so in the edit state, so so it's a poll that we're building. So we need to have a title. I want to add a title to the poll. So I'm gonna do attributes, right? Oh, and there's actually something else that we can add here now. This is a really cool sort of new addition. We have a schema that we can use. What is it? Schema. I have to look it up here. Sorry, where I have it somewhere. Where is it? Do I have it in here? So it's WP. I have to look it up. Sorry, 1 second. I think it's WP org. just use the schema store one for now. So if you drop that into your thing though, so there's actual schema store entry for this. There's also a redirect that goes directly to the GitHub repository for this. But what's awesome about this is that now like if you don't know what goes into your block.json, you can actually, it'll start to give you code completion hints and stuff, which is super awesome. So we're gonna call this we're gonna have an attribute called title, and the attribute's gonna be a type of, it's gonna be a string. See how awesome this is? We don't even need to worry about this. Then we'll give the default value of poll, my fancy poll. Cool. So we have that. All right, awesome. So now that we've sort of defined this thing, we can come into our edit state, and that's a good thing for string. What my VS Code theme? Yeah, it's fun. It's what's it called? Purple? No. Oop, what? Get out of here. I don't know what I did. Yeah, it's the one that Amato Ways did. It's awesome. I quite like it. Anyways, lost my train of thought there for a second. Okay, so in our in here, what am I doing? What am I doing, guys? I forget, folks, people, friends. Lost all my windows now. These are full. There, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so we're doing a title field. That's what we're doing. Lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. Sorry, but chat is meant to be distracted. Yeah, I gotta get better at it. Sorry, I either had too much coffee or not enough today. One of the two. Anyhow, get back to so we've defined our attribute. So now we can do something with this title. So what I want to do is in our edit state, we are using block props, which is great. Okay, this is not what I need. This is not going to be. I'm going to change that. This stuff's all going to change. I'm just going to get rid of this now. And then in our edit state receives the block, the props object. Yeah. And part of that is attributes. So I'm going to go const title equals attribute. Oops, attributes. Why is this doing this again? Dude, this should be formatting, and I don't know why it's not formatting. Am I getting errors here? Let's take a look. This code, I did this to be last time and I don't know why. So that should be saving. It's not saving. It drives me nuts when it doesn't save. So I've got my ESLint. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do this and see what the ESLint's telling me. Let's go. That's fun. Conflicted with. Do I have one? Maybe I can get rid of this one. Delete. Ah, there we go. So I had a conflict. Okay, this is good. I like this. I hate having to format my own JavaScript because I'm lazy. Cool. All right. So now if I just come in here and I should be able to just put title out, there won't be one. Right. So, okay. So in order to edit this particular title, so now we have this attribute. It's not going to do anything. We can actually just, I can just do a var dump. Var dump attributes out in the back. And we should see in here. Oh. White screen of death, that's what we should see. Okay, so we've got, so these are the attributes that we have now. So in the attribute object, because we have a default value, we have this thing called my fancy poll. And then if we refresh this, there we go. So I'm actually outputting in the edit state, you can see I've got this. So that's great. Almost 90 million lumens. I don't know what 90 million, what you're talking about. Sounds interesting though. We get blinded in light mode. Oh yeah. Sorry for this. It's okay, no worries. Cool. So we need to have we need to pull in a component. So the component that we want is rich text. Right. So we're going to put a rich text component in here and set the value to be set the title, right? And then we also there's a whole we set the tag name. Tag name is going to be, let's say H2. Why not? And this is going to create us basically like an editable field that no worries about the meme reference. I gotta learn my memes apparently. Yeah. So the other thing that we want to do is we want an onChange function. This change is going to allow us to actually update that title. So we're going to get the new title value passed to this function. And then in here, we're going to call a function called set attributes. Not that one. That's not at all what we're going to call set attributes, which doesn't exist yet. I mean, it exists, but I haven't actually new title value. So we're going to do that. So set attributes is actually part of the props object that gets pulled out over here. So we're just going to grab that. And so when we update this is basically going to update the title, display the title, and then allow us to make changes to it. Right. So that should be something that we want to do. Plug my phone in because that's what I'm using my Stream Deck on. All right, so let's take a look here. So we refresh this. The other thing I have to do, that's because this thing is happening here. I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, so in here, so see that, so now we have this thing. So now we can type, there's formatting that we can do for it, right? All this stuff. So there's some formatting that we clearly don't want. So we can handle that by adding a new editing one of the attributes, or one of the props, I should say. Should be allowed formats. It takes an array, and we want core bold. That's one that we want, right? And we'll say core italics. And so now what this should do is, italic, maybe that's what it's called. I should look these up, but each one of these formats there we go. So the formats are all registered. What about underline? Hey, T. Drayson, welcome. Yeah, we can do underline. You can kind of do whatever you'd like in here. So core, I think it's underline. Now I'm not making these up. I've just kind of messed with it enough to know what's there. Oh, that's clearly not enough. So a trick I like to use is, I think we can do it this way. So in WordPress, we can go there's an object that's available to us, WP format library dot. Is that what I want? Let's see. Oh no. I want like WP data dot select. I'm gonna say core editor dot get core editor. Let's see. Somewhere in here there's gonna be like a registered formats. It may not be on this particular one. Let's Google that. Gutenberg get registered formats. Register new format. So that's a tag name. Okay. This is what I'm looking for, I believe, right there. So get format types. So because you have to know the exact sort of machine name that is being asked for. So if I do that, there we go. So now we can see we've got all the things in here. So these are the ones that come with it, right? Yeah. So if we want underline, which is there, let's go back into my codes, and that's weird. That should be working. Did I just not see it? Let me just refresh. Maybe that's the problem. What block docs? Why is there no underline? Maybe I need something else too. That's odd. Okay, so let's see. Bold, code, image, italic, link, strike through, underline, text color, subscription. I wonder if. Core underline. That's so weird. Okay, so is anyone seeing something I'm not? Bold, italic, core, underline. I mean, I'm gonna add like a strike through in. Just I'm wondering if it's part of like a. I wonder if it's part of like a. Also, hey Adam Willis, thanks for dropping by. I'm wondering if because there's a section that is like sort of like extra items. Strike through. Huh. So I think the docs are still. Yeah, the docs are difficult. The docs are hard. It's like a real team effort between like the developers who are like working on Gutenberg Core and like community folks, and it's difficult and things are moving quick, right? So it's hard to kind of keep things in sync. I mean, that's not I guess it is an excuse. I'm not making an excuse. I mean, I've written my fair share of docs, but yeah. So I have no idea why core underline is not showing up, but the other ones are. So that's weird. If I take this right out. Oh, I wonder if, so it looks like underline is not actually being registered on this block. Like I don't see it at all. That's interesting. I didn't know that. So that explains why when I put this in, it doesn't work. So maybe let's look at this register format. So how do I register form? Okay, so yeah, this is not easy. So with cause core for sample output. So how do you assign something? Interesting. Okay, so register. So that's the name. So that would be like core. The title is that. Class name is that. Class name is that. So how? Oh, maybe it's the block supports. Let's look. Oh no. So supports. Okay. What? Get out of here. Do I already have supports in here? That's why. Okay. So, don't see anything that's gonna. Weird. All right. Well, let's look. Where we can. I'm definitely off on tangent here, but this is interesting. I had no idea that. So let's look at. So I'm just in the Gutenberg project here. I'm gonna go to my packages. I'm gonna go to block library. I'm gonna go into rich text. Wait, that's not where that lives though. It's a component, so you need to go into I think it's block editor is where I pulled that one from, and components and rich text. Format, toolbar, index. Remove native props, text wrapper. Format types. Use format types. Wow. Get allowed formats. So where does that get pulled from? Okay, so this is baked in pretty deep here. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so I guess we're not doing that. Hey, Exac, welcome aboard. So I'm not going to do that because I don't really want to go down a rabbit hole that far. So I'm going to take underline out, and we'll give it those formats so we can see. Oh, I'm just going to refresh that. So we can see we've got bold, we've got underline, or sorry, bold, and we've got italic, and then what else did I put in here? Oh, strike through there. So because everyone's going to put a strike through in their title. Awesome. So custom title name, title. Don't need to say name. Okay, so let's update this. So now let's get this outputting on the front end. So this is, so you can see this is still just rendering the content on the fly. I'm great, Zach. How are you? Or Zach. Thank you. Did I thank you for coming? If I didn't, thanks. If I did, well, thanks again. Cool. So now, okay. So this is our callback function. Renders the block on the front end. Okay. So in our attributes, we're gonna have title, and it's gonna be we're gonna do some defensive programming here just to make sure that it's set and it's doing what it's supposed to do. Now, the thing is, it's always going to be set. It'll be set by default. We'll get like a default value, like I set up. So it'd be whatever my fancy poll. I can't remember what I called it. But if for whatever reason someone cleared it and then saved it, we want to make sure that it's in there. So a trick that I like to do is I like to do object buffering. So, object buffering, output buffering. So I'm going to start that, and then I'm going to get out of PHP, and then I'm going to go back into PHP, and then now I can like, wow, sure, that was awesome, great. And then instead of returning this, I'm going to go ob get clean, get clean, and what that'll do is that takes all this stuff, right? You should always be in the habit of escaping your values in WordPress, just because people can put weird stuff in there. I mean, for the most part, you're not going to run into that problem in the block editor because you can't really save things that are not. Sorry, I'm getting pinged like a crazy in the. Slack. I'm good, working on Discord JS bot. We got stuck on an issue. I think we need this fixed. Taking another break. Cool. Well, thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. So we don't have any content yet. No content. So I'm just going to leave that there. So what this should do is this should output a bunch of HTML, which just looks like it's going to break because I need a div in there. Wrap it in H2, which let me double check that. Is that what I set it as? H2 tag, yeah. Okay, so now that should, I'm just gonna jump back over here. You should see, there we go. So we have custom title, no content. So if I update this, again, we update this, you can see, there we go. So that's just being updated, pretty straightforward stuff. Cool, so now the content becomes a bit more complicated because what we wanna be able to do here is, that's weird. Am I getting an error? No. What we want to do is we want to have a block. We want to basically have items in here. I'm just gonna. Sorry, I gotta stop. Okay, so what we want is the contents of these are going to be in individual blocks. So I don't know. I guess we should probably make it a list, an unordered list for style purposes, right? And then in here we'll have a list item, right? So each inner block will be a list item. Class, oh God, what's that? It's a class. Class is poll item, right? And then here we can do whatever, title and results, whatever, blah, blah. And that's not even a thing right there. So we can just add a bunch of these, right? And so the idea will be that on the front end, we'll have something like this. Could be a counter, could be a poll, like a thing. God, this green screening stuff's not good. I'm gonna change that. Yeah, so to do that though, we want to have a block. The block's going to manage this stuff, and then we're going to insert it in here. So that's where we're going to do. So this is just hard coded for now. We're going to jump into the edit. So in here we have rich text, and now we need an inner block. We need another component called inner blocks, which I believe is actually in the same is in there. So below our rich text, right? We're going to do inner blocks. What this just by itself is going to allow us to just insert more blocks inside of this. So we see we get this little inserter. If we look at the blocks, we've got our poll block selected, and then in here we can add whatever post title blocks, right? And if we look at this, we see we've got our poll block, and then inside of our poll block we've got our post title. It can be any block. Now we're going to restrict this stuff, but you know, you can insert more blocks inside of that. So before we can insert it, we're going to have to create the block that we want to use. So I'm going to just copy this folder from poll. I'm going to call it poll item. All right, come into my Webpack, and I'm going to just do this. Now I fully recognize that I could probably set up some like globbing in here to make this process a little bit more dynamic, but I'm not gonna do that right now. So now I just have to come in and manually name some things. So item, right, poll block, poll option, I guess let's call it option. Now, there's an important thing that we want to do here. So this block only makes sense. You have a typo in that Webpack config. I have a typo in my Webpack config. What are you talking about? Adam, what would I do without you? You literally fix all my repos and, you know, tell me when I'm spelling things wrong. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Cool. Good catch on that. Right, so we're gonna do this. Okay, so this is a block to display a poll. Say option, and I realize these descriptions are horrible, but okay. So we have poll option, poll item. I'm gonna call it item because we've just been using that nomenclature. Poll item. So this, like I said, this block only makes sense inside of a that poll block. So what we want to do is we want to say that this block only supports the parent block, which is, its parent is only this block, right? So this one can only have a parent of this, meaning it can only be inserted inside of that block, right? So now if we refresh, oh wait, I'm gonna have to make some changes here, I think. Block is just, yeah, so we'll have poll dash item in here, like that. And in here, we're gonna have to come in here and go poll item, and then we're gonna have to create a render callback for that function. Oh, you're a pain in the butt. Ugh. Ugh, okay. Call this function name equals string replace. We're gonna replace dashes with underscores, and then the subject's gonna be, oh, what was that? Subject's gonna be block. I'm gonna put this in here. JavaScript versus PHP. Good times. All right, so we'll do that. So that's gonna just replace any of the instances of that, and so make it so I can actually do this, and this should work. All right, and then I'm gonna just I'm gonna return this. You know, I'm gonna set this up like this. I'm gonna do this, and then I'll just get rid of all this stuff. So that's all I want this block to return for now, because I'm gonna add some other things in there, right? So that's what we do. So, okay, so this should now, just gonna add some code things in here. So renders the poll item block on the front end. Okay, cool. So that should do that now. If I have a build, well, I think I have to stop my build and restart it. Do that. So the build worked. Let's look at our build directories. We've got, okay, so we've got a poll stuff, and then we've got our poll item. And then, so we should have both these blocks being registered now. So if I get rid of this, I'm gonna get rid of this block. I don't need that, remove block. So I come in here and I go poll. I'm getting an error of some form. What's going on there? Okay, let's see. Block is poll item. Includes block editor poll item. Did I miss something? Oh yeah, I did. I need to do. Can't find the CS or the files for this. I thought I already did this. I better check the other file. Oops. Did I update it in here? I did. Don't know how that's even working, but right. Okay. So that and this and this and this and this and this and this. Refresh. Okay. So I'm gonna just check to make sure that I've actually got both blocks being loaded. So I got my build in here. So I've got poll item and poll. Okay, so that looks good. Let's close that down. So inside of this, I should poll item. There we go. So now that's available there. I can insert that, right? What? Oh, because I'm using the same edit. Anyways, that's fine. So, but the thing that I'm trying to do is if we go into the inserter and try to just insert this block like at the top level, if I do poll, you see that there is no poll item there. It's because it means it has to have a parent of this particular block. So that is set here. So now this can only be inserted inside of that. So let's go into the poll item edit, because this is confusing. I'm gonna just take the same thing and put it in here. Just gonna return this, and then what I need to do is, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's set this to li. I'm going to just put whatever results or title and results in here. Change this to li. Now I'm using a class in here, so I want to be able. What I want to do is this use block props can take an object, and I want to put class name in there, and I want to add this class name. So now when this gets output on the front end or in the edit state, I still have the this poll item class in there. I probably should do it with the poll thing too, because we have this, there was a top level class that I was putting into here, right? And the class was poll block. I should clean this up. So where did that file go? There. So we'll do this. So class name. All right, we'll add that. I should add a class name to this. All right. Class name is whatever the heck I called it in the PHP. I'm gonna close this here. So like block title. Get too many things open. Block title, and inner blocks is going to be a different thing here. All right. So now if I come in here and I refresh this, I'm going to reload this. You can see we should be getting some classes in here now. So our custom title. Look at the block here. Poll block. So there's our poll block class. And then here's our H2, which has got the poll block title class. So we're adding these classes. The reason I'm doing this is I want to have the same CSS in the front end as on the back end, so I don't have to worry about styling things, which is, I'm not going to be styling it very well to begin with, but it's just a thing. So cool. So, okay, so now in our inner blocks, what we want to do is we want to start setting some parameters for this. So the one parameter we're going to set is allowed blocks. And this is a thing. This accepts an array, and the thing that we want is we only want to have but whatever I called this poll item block, create block. That's the namespace that was generated by the template. Probably should have updated it, but the ship has sailed now. We're gonna just make it so only that block can go in there, and that's it. So after that builds, we're gonna refresh this. You can see now I'm in here and I press this and it automatically inserts one of those blocks for me. It doesn't even give me the inserter option, which is a great UX experience. It used to be back quite a while ago, that you would get the full inserter, but it would only show a single block in there, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So we can just keep adding as many of these blocks as we want, and you can see now we have the ability to sort them and do all this stuff. And if we don't want that one, we can delete it. So this is sort of the power of inner blocks. We can really it builds us some really easy, like it provides us some easy UX things that we don't have to kind of roll our own for. Which is pretty handy. Cool. So let's get into the block, that block. Okay, so this is, and one thing I like to do is define a template, because this block only selects this block only has a single block allowed in there. So if you grab one of these blocks, you're going to be putting at least one in. So what I'm going to do is create a template. So when this is inserted, it automatically gets the first poll item added in. And so this might look a bit confusing, but this is an array of arrays. And then inside of this, it takes, I think this takes a parameter and this represents whatever the attributes are. First poll option. Now we haven't set this up yet, but there's going to be, I'm going to call it name. First option 1. All right, let's just do that. So this is not going to be supported yet, but we're going to set that up in a second. So now if I update this, I'm going to just delete this whole block. All right, and I'm going to insert the poll block 2. So that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Why didn't that work? Why didn't that work? Adam, why didn't that work? Maybe. Interesting. This is my build's running. Yeah, my build's running. Okay. Yeah. I wonder if I broke it with the. Okay, that worked. So I think I got to look at the inner blocks. I think maybe my formatting was wrong there. Let's look. So where's the template? Template. So template is, no, that's right. It's an array, right? Where each item yeah, so it should look like that. Maybe because I didn't have, you know what? I think it might be because I didn't have the attribute set for that particular block. So we'll leave this for now. I'm gonna go back into poll item. I'm gonna give it an attribute of name. And we're just gonna let it be a string, and that's cool. So this is the name of the thing that we're doing a poll on, right? And so we're gonna do something very similar in here. We're gonna use the rich text component as well. So we'll pull it out of here. See where I'm going with this. Right, we'll put this in here. Actually, what we can do is just do a single instance of this. So the rich text thing allows you to, I think you can actually spread the block props on that. So I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to give it the tag name of the list item. I'm going to give it, I'm going to spread, I'm going to grab this. I'll spread that. I'm going to delete that. Okay, and then so name is here, is an attribute, so we're going to say the value is going to be the name. Okay, and then we're going to do on change again. On change is going to be, oops. Oh my gosh, what am I doing here? New name value. And set attribute, set attributes, and we'll set the attribute to name. It's going to be new name value. Oops. Okay, so this should allow us to set to update the name, and it should display this is a list item with the appropriate class that I've defined there. So let's go back into here. I'll refresh this, reload, and this is the first item. Look at this. Let's look. It should be a list item, and it should have a class of poll item. It does right there. You see that? You see that? Mind the way. Try that. Yeah, right there. Cool. All right, I put myself back over here. Awesome. So now, if we just add more, you see, we just add more items, more items, more items. So I think we need to have some kind of like default value in there, or actually no, what we need is a placeholder. So there's a placeholder that we can use here, and the placeholder is going to be name. I would say enter poll option. One thing that we should probably be doing is trying to translate our strings, so we can do it with that function that I just grabbed there. And then this is whatever the text domain is going to be this. So we'll just drop back over here, put the text domain in, do that. Now when this thing gets inserted, we should have some placeholders. There we go. So name 1, name 2, or name 2, whatever, update. So let's go back and try to get that thing working that I wanted to get working before. That was in the, I'm gonna close others. I'm gonna open back up this in the poll. So we have create template. So we're gonna put a poll item in. What I want to do is give it some default properties. So we'll go first option 1. I don't know if you'd ever really want to do this, to be honest, but yeah. But oops. So when this gets inserted, it should just automatically give you a name of option 1. Now, this may not be something that you'd want to do because the placeholder kind of handles that, and also we doesn't know what the option is going to be. So let's poll. There we go. So you see it automatically gave me the template with an item with option 1, so we can change all that there, or we can keep item. Now it doesn't add more options as we kind of go along, right? Cool. So we have this. Let's go option option 2, option 3, and then option 4, so on and so forth. So we have this. Okay, that's cool. Now let's look at the front end. So we're still getting this stuff. And the reason being is we have to make some changes to our main block. So we have our edit state kind of handled here, right? But remember when I said that, why is this? There we go. Remember I said that the save function doesn't need, it just needs return null in a dynamic block, which is totally true, but in a dynamic block that uses inner blocks, we have to actually return the inner block content. So we can do that by just importing inner blocks from the block editor here. And then what we're going to do is instead of returning null, we're going to return inner blocks.content. And then we'll see that in here, if we jump into here, where we're rendering this stuff, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to just comment this stuff, all this stuff out for now. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to get rid of this. And in here, I'm going to say bar dump content. And then on the front end, you can see we've got nothing because I don't think I think we have to update this. So we save that, refresh this. Still got nothing. Why do we have nothing? Why do we have nothing? Why do we have nothing? Do I have to? Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna insert a poll block, update, refresh that. Still returning an empty string. Interesting. Okay, so that's super weird that that's doing that. Did you reload your browser window to load the new JS? Yeah, I did. Try it again. That's probably something really stupid I'm doing here. All right, so that's in there. I'm gonna give it some options. We're gonna update that, refresh this. Oh, okay. Yeah, just now it's working fine. Super odd. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so what was I doing there? All right. Okay. So then what we want to do is we're going to basically, you just want to pretty much echo out the content here at this point. Now, I think we can do WPKS, like WPKS is here, post, because that should allow us to escape content, but also anything that you can put into a post, you'll be able to do this. So class names and attributes and things like that are pretty standard in a post will be able to be rendered, and there we go. So now we've got that. So if we add, you know why? Okay. So this is now going to render the content that's being provided by this. So obviously this is not correct. So what we want to do is we want to go name equals is set name. We'll do it that way, and then in here we're going to go HTML underscore E, and then we'll echo out name. We'll do that. So now if we refresh the front end, we should get the name we do. And then if we add another one, weird. Okay. So just notice something that we want to keep this to a single line. Sorry, so what was happening there? So I'm typing in here, and if I hit return, it's adding a new paragraph inside of that list item, and that's going to get real weird real fast, right? So if I update this, you'll see we got all of this stuff. That's not really what we want. We just want to be able to do that. So let's take a look at the rich text component. I think there's like a multi-line that we can turn off. Multi-line. If this, so if I turn multi-line off for my rich text editor here in the poll item, in here, rich text, if I do this, I think this might do it. This might make it so it doesn't actually insert a new item. So let's take a look. Or insert a line break there, which is not the experience at all that I'd like to go for. I'm going to just delete this one and then add a new one. Nope, didn't fix it. By default, a line break will be inserted on enter. The editable field can contain multiple paragraphs. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. Let me refresh this again, because last time it didn't. Okay, maybe rich text isn't the best. Maybe it's not the best solution there. Then maybe we should be using something else. That's unfortunate. Because we really just need the text, right? We don't even really need the format. We could do instead of that we could pull we could have it be a yeah, we could have it be like an input field, import was it text control, do it that way from WordPress, should be components. All right, so let's try that then. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna get rid of this because I'm not really happy with that. I'm gonna wrap a text control inside of an li, right? And we're going to set the value to name. So we're setting that to, right? And I think it also has an on change. Which we can just steal our on change from like that. And we'll take the class name of, so the class name's got to go inside of this. Class name equals poll item. Okay, that can go away. So this is going to look ugly, but we'll fix that. Refresh this. All right, something's broken. I broke something. Oh, WordPress. That would be why. WordPress is the one I'm looking for. Oh no, I still have to use block props. This is good. Sorry, this is gonna break. I still have to use block props, and I still want to pass class name to this. And I need 3 of those. And okay, so that should work. So this hopefully will give us a thing. There we go. So that's clearly a little bit weird. Interesting. Okay. So this is the name. Oh, this is fun. Okay. So li, and then inside the li we've got this thing. Okay. So this is how we're going to do it. So there's a cool little boolean in here called isSelected, right? And so what we can do is we'll toggle between things. We'll do like we'll do something like this: is selected. If the block is selected, we're gonna render the text control, right? Like this. We're gonna do something like this. If it's selected, if selected, we're gonna render the text control. If it's not selected, we're just gonna render name. Right? Make sense? Makes sense. Okay, so oh, come on. What do you give me grief for? Oh, I think I'll do it this way. I'm gonna put this in here and then put this in here because it needs to be a React element. So, and then in here I'll put name, and then in here we'll also spread block props across text control like this. And then get rid of this. Does that solve the problem? Yeah. I think I need to do something a little different with that. Gotta figure something out there. Okay, so that's nothing was being returned there. Well, shouldn't this return it like that? Maybe it have to be returned. I guess that's probably, what is this called condition? Oh, you. Oh, now I'm into React funness. Okay, I wonder if I can do if. Is selected. Oh, no. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna do this way. I'm gonna say block props, and then I'm gonna call block props up here. The issue is you can't call a React hook conditionally. It always has to be called. So if I do it that way, then I can just spread block props across here, and same with down here. And I don't have to worry about that weird error, the error. So why is that? Name is deprecated. Name is deprecated. It's not deprecated. It's giving me grief about this. That's giving me grief about that. All right, let's try that now. So this makes more sense. Once again, Adam, thank you. You should do this. You should come do this. Clearly better at it than I am. So okay, cool. So you see what it did there? So when that's there, and then we can edit this. We'll go name, and then when it's not selected, we can see that it actually shows up in there. So we can just do it that way. That's a bit jarring, I guess, but yeah. There we go. You know, there's another control that actually might be better, even better. Plain text. Let's see if that works. I'm just playing around with stuff here now. So we do plain text. Let's see what that does. Reload. Select this. Yeah, that's a little nicer. So we might actually be able just to wrap this whole thing inside the plain text. Why don't we try this? Why don't we do this? Li. I'm gonna just move this up. Oh, gotta get that stuff. Move that inside the li. Move my block props up here. Right. Maybe we can structure this a little better too. We're gonna just return this, and then inside of here, we're gonna do the is selected. Is selected, right? And then we'll. No, that's gonna give me this. Is that gonna give me the same grief? If it's selected, we're gonna do it like that. If it's not selected, I'm just gonna return name. Something's not happy. Oh, like this. Yeah, okay, I think I need to return it as a fragment. That's it. Okay, there we go. So I think we just need to do some styling on that plain text thing. Like if we just add some styles in here and go like, let's start throwing some CSS in there and see what happens. All right, sorry, got my own head there. So in the editor CSS, we're gonna just I'm gonna put a little class called, what is it, Poll block, and we'll go sure, put that in there. So make sure I'm actually importing that. You know what, I'm gonna put in the style CSS. Okay, so we got a little thing going in there. That's cool. Man, I don't like how this is turning out. Let's look at how they did it here. So they did, yeah, they did this. So, all right. So what I need to do is I need to start getting rid of some of the things, right? So poll block. So dot poll. Oh, this is CSS. This is CSS, so I can definitely mix this. So we're gonna go LA, and we'll say list style none. And what are we doing here? Okay. So we're gonna refresh this. So hopefully there will be no list style there, so it's not a problem anyways. There we go. That becomes a whole lot less of a problem without a list style. Right, so that's this. Okay, so now we need, we can probably do it a couple ways. I think what I'm gonna do here is like, so if, wait, sorry, that's wrong. So if this is selected, we can do the class name. We'll say poll item selected, right? Maybe we can just target that directly. I'll just do this, right? You can say background color like none. So hopefully, so what is that? That's, it needs to nest inside of this, right? No judging on my horrible CSS. It's just not, you're not allowed. That didn't work. Let's see. Does this actually have the... Oh, it's being overridden by... Oh, really? Okay. It's being done in line, so... maybe I have to... I don't know if I can get more my specificity if I can override that. No. Nesting's off. Is the LI? No, it's the text item. It's a text area inside the LI. If you look here, so we have a text area. So the poll item selected is here. So the LI is here, and then inside the LI there is a poll item selected. Right. So LI. Oh yeah, sure. I'll move left of the screen. How's that? You might be right. I mean, so we have, so the LI is the poll item, which is here, right? And then the poll item selected is a class that I've added to the list item, which is right there. So my idea is, and then there's some what's overriding that? It doesn't. Text area poll item selected. So that's targeting correctly. Oh, maybe this should be background. This is just bad CSS. Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, that's all it was. It was just bad CSS. And then I also want to have a border of none. So I'm gonna target that and do border of none. All right, border none. Because I don't really want I don't want plain text to look like anything. What? You get out of here. What's the border on? Where's the border? No, it would be on here, would it not? Text area. Oh, I think we do want that though. Could be outlining our other properties as well. Yeah, but I think for accessibility reasons though, you do want to have that outlined, right? I mean, like, I think you might be right there. Outline, say none. I don't know if it's good for accessibility reasons to not do that. So it's a bunch of properties here. Definitely see how my CSS is not wonderful. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to turn that. I'm just going to put it back in for a second. Just make it always there. It's just going to do weird things. Let's see. It's definitely like a selected state because even it's there all the time, right? It's rendering everything correctly. Oh, you bastard. The hub button, bam. Oh, it's focus I want. There we go. So that's box shadow. Adam. Again, okay. So it's box shadow, I guess. Box. Oops, press the wrong button. Box shadow none. Can I? Oop, need that. I gotta get better at my front end work. I'm just gonna turn that off for now. So there we go. All right. So I'll put all this other stuff back. Oops. Gotta get that happening. Oh man, is it noon already? I'm gonna run out of time. Might have to be a part 3 for this. I have to do a bunch of homework on how to do CSS properly. All right. Sorry, what am I doing here? All right, cool. So we got that. I don't need this for now. Okay. So the poll item's got a name, and then maybe start styling up the poll item. Oops. It's the best way to do this, I guess. Color. I'm just going to do blue for now. So the one thing I really wanted to kind of demonstrate here was this concept of oh, wow, that's so ugly. This concept of block context. What I want to do is I want to be able to have my main block define the color for the background of our poll, and then have each block, inner block, know what that color is and display it appropriately. So that's what I'm going to work on next, and I'm gonna do this CSS stuff offline because clearly I have no business streaming CSS. But anyhow, cool. So to do that, we need to have our blocks sort of set up some things here. First thing that we want to do is on our block, we're going to set up a, where to go? Actually, color. We're going to set, I want to try this. So in our poll block, we're going to say that our poll block supports a background color. Okay. And so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to set this up. I'm gonna refresh this now. I think what'll happen. You get out of here. What? Oh, I didn't think my JSON. I broke my JSON somewhere. Yeah, I don't need that. Okay. So what this should now do is build, and it did. Okay. I'll refresh this. So block context is super awesome. So now we have this color. We can pick a color in here, right? So these colors have actually been defined by our by the theme, right? So I'm going to pick a custom color. I'm going to pick this color. I don't know what color I want. I'm going to pick this color right there. I'm going to pick a red color. Cool. So I have that color. Okay. Why is it showing me text color? This might not be what I want to do here. So this is like messing with all my colors and stuff. I don't know. We might need a custom color control for this. I was hoping that I could just enable these colors, and then what else is in here? Text. We're gonna say false. So this support stuff is pretty handy, and this gets tied into the work being done in block.json, which is really cool. So we have background colors, right? So we can set the background color of this poll, and we'll set that. Great. I don't mind that actually. So, but what I think we need to do is we need to now add a custom color that we can do that. So we will do that. So to do that, I'm going to do a new attribute. We're going to call it item color. Okay. And we're going to do this. And it's going to be a type of string. And we're not going to give it a default. Okay. And then we need to get a color control component. So in our edit state again, now we have to get into some inspector controls here. So I like to put them outside of my markup. It doesn't really matter where you put them because inspector control is a slot fill. And a slot fill can be placed anywhere because it actually gets rendered somewhere completely different. So it doesn't really matter where you place it. I just like to keep it out of the way of my markup here. So in here, test. So just to show this, if I render this now, you can see if I come over here, now you see I've got this thing over here, test, right? I'm gonna just turn that background color off because it's just gonna make things a little bit complicated, right? So the thing we do need to do is we need to do a panel, which we actually did over here. So I'm gonna go and steal some of this stuff. So we gotta get panel body, panel row from our components. Do I have components in here already? I do not. So I will steal it from there. I'm just gonna grab all this. So I'm just stealing some components from other places. I don't think I need a button. I'm not gonna need a text control. I'm just gonna need the panel body and the panel row. So inspector controls, we're gonna put this in here. Panel body. Oh, come on. I'm gonna do panel body, and then this will be the panel row. I'll do content here, and then this will be label. I think we have. Just go look at it over here. Inspector, we've got option. Title is options, initial open is true. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So it's not label, and this is going to be, I'm going to translate this properly. This will be a poll bar color. That's what we'll do. That, and we'll set the initial open to true. So we should refresh this now. We should see we have a we have this pole bar color in here. So we'll just have that color thing. So I need a color picker. So this should be in components most likely. Let's go packages, components, source, color palette, color picker, right? That's the one we want. I think we actually want color palette. Let's grab color palette. So we got let's use color picker. Components. Is this experimental or something? Interesting. All right, let's grab color picker. We'll put it in there. And we'll put this in here. I'm just gonna grab color picker, which I hope is just in components here. Color, oops, that's the wrong button, color picker. Okay, and so we have another attribute now, and what did we call that thing? I don't remember. I call it bar color. Bar color. Just gonna call it color. I don't want to deal with the naming stuff. So in here we have another attribute called color. We'll set this color to in here, and then this will be another thing that says new color. The attributes. New color. Okay. And we'll do that. All right, come back over here. We'll refresh this. Okay, so I grab this, we get a color bar picker. Great, so we can grab whatever color we want. It gets updated, that's all good. That's all good, that's all good. So, okay, great. So when this gets saved, we should have some context available here. Now so what we wanna do is, like, I wanna make sure that this block, the other blocks know about it, right? So, I'm gonna go into, where are we here? We're gonna look at the blocks. This is not what I want. Okay. Creating block attributes. So we look in block attributes. We'll look for context. No, not block attributes. I'm sorry. Block API reference. Context. That's what I'm looking for. So what we want to do is we want to have a block that provides context and a block that consumes context, right? So the idea being that a block can provide a context value by provides context. So in here, object maps box value is made available and send the blocks can be referenced. Okay. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put it into my block.json of the main poll block. So in here, we're going to say that this provides context. I'm going to get rid of that and do it this way. Provides context, right? And then what was the example? Oops, what was the example? It was this. Okay, so I'm going to give it this is confusing to me. My plugin record ID, the value corresponding to that attribute value is made available to display referenced by the same. Oh, this is the context name. That's what it is. Okay, so I'm going to call it, my context name is going to be poll. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give it the same name as in here, right? So then poll, and then value is going to be the attribute name, I think. The attribute name, yeah. And the attribute name is going to be color. Cool. So this should now be available to us in the poll block. So the poll item block, which we now have to say uses the same context. So this thing is going to want to use context, and the context that it wants to use is the one that we've defined over here, which we're calling create block poll block, or poll, right? Okay, so that's been set up, I think. So let's look. So we want to use the block context. Okay, so let's look and see. Okay, so if I've done this correctly, I've used it before, but it's been a while. So take a look here. So in the poll item, in the edit state, we should have a context object in here. So if I go console. Oh, come on, get out of here. Did that just import something? Dumb. Console.log. We're gonna go log context, and we'll see what's in context. I'm gonna build all this stuff. Come back over here. Gonna refresh. Okay, so now let's do this. So, okay, that's undefined. Okay, so it sees that there's a context there, but it's not getting it. So why is it getting it? Let's look. Uses context. Let's take a look. Did I do that wrong? Context. From an ancestor, providing it by uses context. Okay. Once a block is defined in content, this can be as an implementation of edit or render callback. It is provided as an object, JavaScript, or associative array, PHP. The context value has been defined by the block. Note that the context value will only be available when the block explicitly defines a desire to inherit that value. So it definitely the edit. Maybe I'm not saving it right. Hold on. Scoot back. Oh, yep. There we go. Okay, so weird. Okay, so so my poll item is using this context. I'm going to give this my custom context. So. Right, and then in here we wanted to so this should be inheriting that, right? So in the poll item, there is a context. It's just empty at this point. Let's look. All right, so we should be seeing create block. I guess it doesn't matter the name because it's working, but so it's undefined at the moment. So I grab this. Right, unchange, undefined. Okay, so let's make sure that I'm actually saving this correctly. So color, attribute is color. I'll make sure this is working. So if I do style in here, come on, style, yes, and then I put an object in here and go background. Set it to color. So this should be setting the background color of this wrapping div when I set it. Hold on, let me just. No, that's not the one. What did I pick? Yeah, color picker, color change, set color. So that's all I'm doing is setting the color. Like it should just be working. Okay, so when I change this, I should be getting some kind of color value out of it. Well, that seems to be the problem. That color picker doesn't seem to be working. Weird. Okay, well, let's put a color palette in then. Why is that not working? All right, I'm gonna do this because it doesn't make any sense. Hopefully this will work. Where'd that thing go? Okay, I don't know why color picker wasn't working. I'm just gonna like steal some of these values and just do it this way. And the colors can go in there. There's an array of colors, and then we have color, and then we have set attributes color. New color. Okay, let's just see now. All right, let's go over here. Undefined. What is this? There we go. So now we've got a color. Okay. So I'm gonna remove this. There's something up with that color picker. I gotta figure that out, or understand why that's not working. But I don't want to set the style background there. What I want to do is I want to go into the poll item now, and I have this context, right? And I want to get the const. I'm gonna say BG color equals. Oh no, do it this way. I go. Oh wait, was it an array or an object? It's an object. So I think I should be able to do this. I should be able to say get that and call it BG color equals context, right? And then I can just for now, I'll just do a style in here, right? And say same idea as what I was doing before. Background color is, let's say BG color. Background. Okay. So hopefully now, refresh this. All right. I'm gonna add another one of these things. Another one of these things. Oh, this is the CSS is fun. I'm gonna get rid of that. I don't want that. Okay. Reload this. Okay, so I've got these. So if I pick a background color, you can see, so now it's got the context. And so each one of these is gonna have the context again. See, test. But if I come back up here and I change them all to red, so you can see that this is pretty powerful. I mean, what I'm doing is really not that great, but what's super cool about it is you can do this for lots of stuff. You could have all kinds of context that gets passed around and everything. So what does this even look like on the front end? It looks like that on the front end. So I have a bunch of style work to do for sure. I'm gonna have to cut it now. It's 12:30, but yeah, this has been fun. I appreciate everyone coming. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, push it up, and then we'll probably have to finish this up in another stream next week. And go from there. I'm going to get the front end sorted out, sort of offline, because nobody needs to watch me doing that. Till end of block contest. Thanks for the stream. No worry, Adam. Thanks for coming. I appreciate your help, showing me all the things that I don't know how to do. Appreciate it. But yeah, block context is pretty powerful. You can do a lot of really cool things with it. And yeah, so I will see everyone next time. Have a good one.